I want to bring in my first guest because this restaurant is a very unique concept, and it has a great chef with a great background. So I'd like to welcome in Chef Josh from the Revolving Door, who has, by the way, there's a cue if you didn't see on social media, it's Shark Week, so there seems to be some theme of something that's coming my way here. Chef, are you ready for us?
Yeah.
All right. Slide these back here. I'll put them up there because I like that look to them there.
Yeah.
Oh boy. Blood orange here. Chef, how are you?
Good. How are
Good
you?
to see you.
Good to see
Thanks
you.
for joining me.
Absolutely.
So I was finding out more about Shark Week because I was on Facebook and I wandered across the chef's Facebook page. What were you doing recently?
We went shark hunting. One of my local fisherman buddies has a commercial license. We went about 30 miles offshore, caught some sharks for Shark Week.
Oh my gosh. Is this shark?
This is Mako shark.
Mako shark.
I did not catch this shark, but the good people at Foley Fish in New Bedford sourced it for me.
Nice. So what do we got here? What's on this Mako shark?
Okay, so we on the menu.
Making me hungry, by the
That's
way.
okay. On the menu, we have a seafood selection, basically a local catch that changes daily or every couple of days. And I do it with this garnish typically for the season, depending. So right now, this is some pan-fried Mako shark.
Okay.
We're serving that with maitake mushrooms, sugar snap peas,
Oh my
and a
God.
sugar snap pea puree.
This is the puree from the
Yeah,
shrimp? That
yeah,
green
absolutely.
color, look at that.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Very summery.
Yeah, very summery. And we're serving this, as is Shark Week, something red. We have a Aperol Spritzer.
I
If
love
you
it.
wanted
Cheers.
to, actually, I brought some shark blood.
No.
I'm not sure if you want a little bit for
Sure,
yours.
sure, why not? Let's do this. There's nothing that surprised me last week. I had escargot live on air, so nothing
Yeah.
seems to be surprising me anymore. All right,
It's not shark blood.
cheers.
How refreshing is that?
It's incredibly
Day.
refreshing. This made me here the entire segment. Just to let you know, it's
Not
incredibly
that much
refreshing.
alcohol, anyways.
It's
Aperol.
delicious. Wow, it's absolutely delicious.
Okay.
So this is my Shark Week drink and my Shark apparent dinner here, right here. So very excited about this. Now, let's talk about Revolving Door as a concept.
This is pomegranate juice, by the way.
Is that pomegranate juice?
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure.
Oh,
that-
I feel better already. I love pomegranate juice. All
Okay.
right, so Chef,
Yeah.
tell us about the Revolving Door as a concept, because this is a very unique concept. You're technically the house chef,
Correct.
so you oversee the Revolving Door on a daily basis.
Yes, absolutely. I'm the executive chef at the restaurant, so we have guest chefs that will come in for 1 week every month.
Every month.
Yep. And basically, we build it up. We use the other 3 weeks to build up their menu, their concept, their persona. We have our guest chef coming up right now in August. Is Chef Mark Anthony Bynum.
Okay.
Chef Mark owns 3 restaurants on Long Island.
Nice.
He has a Hush Bistro. He'll soon be opening another Hush Bistro, and also a ramen concept that he's
Really?
been working on there that's been very successful.
So
Very
these
talented
chefs,
chef.
So literally, you're looking at 12 chefs a year
Yep,
that are guest chefs coming into the Revolving Door.
right.
So the original concept, Chef Bouchard, who has the right next door, basically, right? Is Bouchard's. This was a concept that he kind of evolved, that he brought in, and the Revolving Door name came from the chefs revolving in and out. So
Yep.
did I understand that correctly?
Yeah, the name kind of came from the concept of what we wanted to do, and it's been working out really well for us. We've been open for 3.5 years now,
Great.
and yeah, it's been very successful.
So this is where this hotspot thing came in for me, is that people are telling me, okay, we go there even when it's not as chef because they love your menu, so we got to talk about your menu that you're putting out there. But people like the variety of the fact that you have these visiting chefs that are coming in. Now, how are the chefs selected? How do you end up with these chefs?
So we've gone through some different processes over the years, but to be honest, the vetting kind of just goes through me. A lot of the chefs I know through other people. It's kind of a small world in the restaurant business. You know, a lot of us know each other. You know, it's really not that tough. In the beginning, it was kind of tough to find people, but by now, you know, we've kind of gotten a name for ourselves,
Right.
and I have a lot of chefs that return.
Really?
So it kind of, the returning guest chefs, you know, they bring a whole other thing to it because they know what they're coming into. They know
They
what
know
to
the kitchen and
expect.
everything. So literally your staff supports these chefs when they're coming in. They don't traditionally bring other staffs with them or anything like
They
that?
can, but I have a kitchen staff and a full front of house staff, and that supports the restaurant.
Nice. So with 12 different chefs a year, and that leaves you a whole bunch of other weeks left open that we have to have food service coming out of there.
Absolutely.
This is your menu that's coming in.
Yeah.
So let's talk a little bit about the style of menu that you prepare those other times of the month.
Absolutely. So the style of menu that I'm producing right now is, I guess it would be considered New American, but to be honest, I want to have like a restaurant or a menu where, you can put anything on. I would hate to work in a restaurant where you can't have French fries on the menu. I love French fries. We have French fries. We have French fries on the menu. We make them the best we possibly can. We buy potatoes, hand cut them, blanch them, fry them. But it's like little things like that. We do. I have a cornbread that's wildly popular right now. We serve with whipped honey butter.
Okay.
And Maldon sea salt on top.
Beautiful.
It's really nice. We always have some kind of a fish. Right now we have the black spaghetti as well, which has been very popular. I use squid ink to make our spaghetti black. Yep, we make it in house. A lot.
A lot?
Yeah. So the black spaghetti served with mussels and house-made chorizo as well.
Oh my gosh,
So
this is what happens every time I come here. I'm starving before I leave.
Yeah, you gotta get down there.
I know, I'm definitely coming. I've been there before. I've been there when
Yeah.
you guest chefs. I love it. Now, atmosphere-wise, let's talk about the atmosphere, because one of the things that I noticed was kind of the chef was in an open air, right? The way that they're preparing and doing the food.
Correct.
So when your guest chefs come in, they're interacting with the guests.
Yes, we have a very open concept kitchen.
Right.
Very open, so you really see everything, which is it's actually very good. In the beginning, I wasn't sure I loved the idea, but to be honest, it keeps everything. It's so honest, I'm not hiding anything. You see it sometimes, in the middle of a busy service, we need to break down or cut a whole fish. So I walk into the back of the kitchen with a 30-pound striped bass all over the place, and people. We get some weird looks, but for the most part, people understand that means that it's wildly fresh.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's been going really well for that.
So that area where it's open kitchen, there's seating. It kind of described the setup of the restaurant.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So we have 8 tables that we take reservations for. Other than that, we have a 13-seat bar. And then we also have another bar called our sports bar, which is about 8 seats. And then outside, we have about 24, 25 seats as well.
Which is beautiful.
So
I've been on the outside and I've sat at the bar.
Yeah,
sitting
it's
at the
a lot
bar
of
is an
fun.
experience, I have to tell you, because you are literally, it's like from here to, 3 feet or something, that they're in front of you and you're watching all this action happen right there. So with these chefs coming in, do they design the menu on their own, or is it kind of a collaboration with you as well?
They design their menu on their own, but a lot of them talk to me and ask me, what's worked best in the past, what should I do? I'll tell them if I see a menu where they're asking for some, foie gras, truffles, lobster, and beef tenderloin on the same dish. It's not really necessary. They need to think about a food cost as well, because that affects how they are paid for what they're doing.
And especially when they're there for a short time.
Absolutely, yeah.
So when these chefs come in, the menu, you've got a base down there from a guest perspective that it's both locals and your heavy tourism because of where you're located.
Correct.
Actually, it's lower things, near Bouchard's there.
Yes.
So when these come in, do you find that people are looking forward to it and learning about it in advance? Because I know your regulars are. I've heard it from the people that live out there. But what about the tourism? How's the tourism base when it comes to that?
Well, the tourism base, I think that they follow, probably the social media is probably the best way.
Yeah.
Through our Facebook or Instagram. Our website as well has our menus on it. But yeah, as you said before, we have a pretty big local following, and it keeps us going through the winter when a lot of other larger restaurants don't fill the seats.
So that's kind of another way where I kind of qualified the restaurants that are here with me today as hotspots, is that if the locals, so it's always a saying, if the locals enjoy the establishment, the locals are visiting year-round, not just in the off-season, then it's a great spot. And yourself and the other 2 guests that I have today, that's constantly what I've heard from locals and people that live down there in Middletown, Newport, Jamestown, that are coming over, is that you are one of those regular spots that they want to make sure that they get to. So 3 weeks out of the month, we've got your menu. The other week of the month, we've got the visiting chef that's coming in. You guys have a great cocktail list.
Yes, we're also very pretty well known for our cocktails.
Inventive
as well.
cocktails, I want to say. So they are inventive. So between the cocktail perspective and your wines you're bringing in, how important is it to you as a chef to be pairing these things up and promoting how they interact with each other?
The pairings between the cocktails and the food.
Yeah, and even your wine program as well.
Yes, I mean we have a very good wine program. We also have the Bouchards behind us, so
Absolutely.
always probably one of the better wine lists in the state.
But
In that cellar, but as far as
stuff over there.
we do play a lot with a lot of interesting and somewhat strange ingredients. An example might be that we have a cocktail called the DeWolf of Thames Street. It has things like miso in it.
Miso in a cocktail.
Miso in a cocktail. Orgeat syrup, which is an almond and orange blossom liqueur. It's really more of a syrup.
Wow.
It's a sip, yeah. And so it's that with coconut milk. It's somewhat of a tiki drink, and then that could also play into a dish that I have on the menu right now, which is the lavender and miso glazed duck breast.
So who's coming up with these inventive cocktails for you? Was it a collaboration between you and your
Well, that cocktail is actually Jason Kindness, one of our past beverage directors.
Wow.
So, but we always play around with some strange ingredients, and there's also, because we have so many guest chefs, they bring in their ingredients. So maybe one day
Nice.
a guest chef has harissa paste, which is a chili paste
Yep.
from Morocco, or some other Szechuan peppercorns, for instance. And then the bartenders can play off of that as ingredients that they don't typically see. But we play
So
around.
what
with
was in this besides the pomatum, the blood,
it.
the blood that you put in it? What was in this?
So this is a pretty traditional Aperol spritzer. It's like 2 parts Aperol, 3 parts Prosecco, and a little bit of
Big fan of Prosecco.
soda, and some shark blood.
You can't go wrong with this. So, Chef, one of the other things that comes up and what makes it a hot spot is the fact of the comfort and the knowledge of the staff. And being that I've been to your restaurant and all the restaurants coming in today, that's something that I can say that I think attracts it. So, the staff that you have there, besides the fact that you're in a tourism-driven area, it seems like you've had some staff like yourself that have been there for some time and that are used to the customer base, used to handling the tourists. Is that something that's been, a long-standing thing for you to get your staff trained up to be there and be comfortable with dealing with the different fluctuations of time and everything?
Absolutely. I mean, dealing with our concept in itself can be pretty taxing on a staff. They need to be inspired. If your server, doesn't understand the menu or the guest chef that's coming in or the concept, they're not going to sell it for you, and that's the most important thing.
That's an incredibly interesting point, because when you think about it, I can't say that I've been to another concept like yours. I can't say,
Right.
and I've traveled a lot. So I can't say, I'm sure there probably is one out there somewhere, but I can't think of one that comes to mind that has the same concept as you. And from a staffing perspective, you're right. So 1 week out of the month, they've got to learn a whole new menu.
Whole new menu,
They
yeah.
deal with a whole new chef and chef temperaments. They come
Yeah.
along with that, right?
Absolutely. Mine and theirs.
Mine and yours at the same time.
They'll tell you.
So the seasonal outdoor part that you said you're al fresco dining, that's over 20 guests that's seated out there.
Correct.
Right?
We also have 2 fireplaces out
You
there,
have 2 fire pits out there?
which is also pretty nice. On a brisk night,
Absolutely.
sit out there, have some cocktails.
Now, Revolving Door is only dinner, correct?
Correct.
Okay. And is it 7 days a week?
We're open 6 days a week
Okay.
right now.
So what's the off day?
Tuesday.
Wow, you got an interesting.
Six
Okay,
days a
so
week, Tuesday.
Tuesday's the off day.
Correct.
And from a seasonal perspective, that doesn't change. You guys are open like that through the holiday season and things.
Correct. Yeah.
One of the questions that I had for you that came across from social media was, do you take holiday parties? Which I thought was an interesting question.
We do, but it would just have to be a smaller party.
A smaller party.
We have 8 tables. Actually, to be honest, we handle most of those on a case-by-case
As
basis.
they come
If someone was interested in buying out the restaurant
Yeah.
for a night, we would absolutely entertain the idea. We do parties, typically around 10 people is our largest party that we'll do, just because of the size of our restaurant.
It is. It's
Our
an
kitchen
it's an
isn't really
intimate
set
style.
up to do much more than that.
It's an intimate style. So, Jake, there you got your question answered. I did make sure
10.
I asked it. About 10.
Keep it to
Next
10.
week, you're
Give
good
us a
shape.
call a month or 2 in advance.
10 to me is a perfect size dinner party, so I'm okay with that. I don't want to go much further than that if I don't have to.
Absolutely.
So, Chef, one of the questions that comes up that people like to have answered, and you've got a unique situation, is that you've got the visiting chefs once a month, you've got yourself that's in here with your menu, is people like to know, from your style of cooking, it's a 2-part question, One is there something on your menu now that the guests are coming out there for the summertime especially that they shouldn't miss, that they should make sure that they try it? And then what's kind of like your specialty that you prefer to make or put out there for the guests? Something that you're fond of cooking physically. So that's a two-part question.
Yeah. No, it's okay.
While you're answering, I'll be drinking.
You're going to beat me?
Yeah, absolutely.
But it's also important, the large ice cubes are nice for less dilution.
Pretty cool. I didn't notice it.
Oh yeah,
that's awesome.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I guess guests coming to our restaurant, something that they shouldn't miss.
Right.
I think our Chowder, being a Newport restaurant, I think that our Chowder is something really special. We make a local Rhode Island conch chowder.
Conch?
Yep, it's actually in the whelk family, but people in Rhode Island affectionately refer to them as conch.
Okay.
So yeah, they're about yay big.
Yeah.
A lot of the Italians use them for scungili salads. But we cook them down, chop them, and I make a chowder with it. We do it has a broth with coconut milk and Thai red curry.
So is it
conch.
spicy in there?
It's a bit spicy, yeah.
Okay.
It's really nice. We have a huge following for that dish.
Being Italian that I am, and you all see my hands, and that's why the phone
yeah.
stays on the table. I am a conch fan, so now I'm going to have to try that. That's
Absolutely,
awesome.
yeah. I think
didn't
it's
about
a
that.
really nice way to have conch. I'm not sure I really know anyone else that's using it in a chowder.
No,
our area.
I've never tried it that way. I mean, I've had it in the scugilli salad.
Yeah, absolutely.
I've actually had conch in Christmas time for the Feast of Seven Fishes that they
Yeah.
make with different
Oh,
things.
yeah.
So
Different fishes.
for Love of Juliet. So okay, so we got that part answered. That's something that you think they shouldn't miss. What's something that you typically enjoy cooking and that you like to have come out of the kitchen?
You know, I really love to make, as I said before, I really like to make fresh pasta. It's kind of near and dear to me through my experience in Italian cuisine. To make pasta, I think it's really I hold it dear to my heart. So, you know, when one gets made by accident, you know, it kind of hits me.
Yeah,
So-
and it's I can tell you that from a pasta perspective, I'm
Yeah.
getting questions about your pasta right now. So
Oh, okay.
how many different pastas do you make?
Right now I make one, it's the black spaghetti, but I also play around with specials. I like to do things different, you know, I don't like to just, you know, I like to think outside the box a bit.
Yeah.
An example might be one of the pastas that we've done in the past as a special. We did it around Easter, was a rabbit filled tortellini.
Oh my God.
So that
I'd
was
be in glory with
that was really nice. We served that with a yuzu and carrot puree to kind of play off of the rabbit carrot kind
I
of
believe in my glory.
thing.
Rabbit duck, those are things everybody's
Oh
hearing
yeah,
about,
no, it was
like,
beautiful.
oh,
That was a really nice one.
Chef, this was awesome, beautiful dish. I'm
Yeah.
going to continue to drink my cocktail. Don't worry, it ain't going to go to waste.
All right.
And I appreciate you coming in to join me. Thank you
Yeah,
so
no
much. I
problem.
look forward to seeing you in Newport.
For sure, we'll see.